Hey guys, what's crack-a-lackin'? Traditionally, Valentine's Day begins what we at the Seattle Aquarium like to call Octopus Week. It's a week of days where we just celebrate the octopus and all the cool things about the octopus. So I thought, in light of both Valentine's Day and the beginning of Octopus Week, I would tell you 25 facts about the octopus. Fact number 1, in light of Valentine's Day, octopus have 3 hearts, one for each set of gills and one for everything else in the body. And running through those 3 hearts is blue blood. So unlike the red blood that we have, octopus have blue blood because it is made out of a copper-based protein instead of an iron-based protein. And of course, you can't have Valentine's Day without having a mate of some sort, and the octopuses are the exact same way. The octopuses are terminal maters, which means they mate and then they die. Traditionally, the male kind of wastes away, he stopped taking care of himself until he is, nothingness. And the female stays with the eggs until they hatch, and then when they hatch, they eat their mom. Great way to spend Valentine's Day. And then on that note, terminal maters, how long do they live then? A lot of people think it's a really long time, but in reality, an octopus, depending on the species of octopus, it can live up to 6 months or up to 4 years, and then they die. Speaking of species and all the different types, there's at least 300 recognized species of octopus, but every species of octopus is a cephalopod, a word that means head, foot. So imagine, if you will, if you took your head and put it where your waist is. That's how an octopus is built. Octopus have 8 arms, not tentacles. Arms are used for moving and eating, which is what octopus use their 8 appendages for, while tentacles are used solely for eating. So a squid, for example, has 8 arms that it uses for swimming, but it has an additional 2 tentacles that it uses specifically for grabbing and bringing food to itself. And speaking of the tentacles, you can use them, or speaking of the arms, you can use them to identify whether the octopus is male or female. So if you were to take an octopus and spread it out on a table in front of you and look at it from the top down, the 3rd arm on the right of a male octopus is generally tucked under because that is the arm that holds its penis. And they need to protect those because if they lose them, they can't get them back. On all of their arms, they have big disc contraptions that are called suckers. Their suckers are actually their taste buds, and they are covered in chemoreceptors which they use to taste their environment. Octopuses use their arms to crawl. They don't actually free swim unless they are in danger. There are a couple of octopuses that's their way of transportation, is free swimming, but there are very few. And, like I'm sure many of us are, me included, especially on Valentine's Day, octopus are solitary creatures. They live by themselves until they have to mate, and then they find a partner, and then they die. Which is, I think, how I'm going to go out. Octopuses have the intelligence of a small child, but they are also the most intelligent invertebrate in the world. One of the ways that they demonstrate this intelligence is they use tools. They use things, manipulate things like empty shells and things like that to make shelter for themselves. You can find really cool videos of it on YouTube. Another thing that you can find videos of on YouTube are octopuses changing their color, texture, and shape to blend in. So an octopus is covered in tiny cells called chromatophores that they use to change color to match their environment. Look up the mimic octopus. It is the coolest thing you will ever see in terms of camouflage. If predators still manage to find them, octopus actually have the ability to expel ink from their body, which is a kind of combination of ink and a mucus So it's actually very thick and damaging to the predator. I've seen an octopus ink, actually, even though it's generally not a good idea because it's very stressful for them. It means they're under a lot of stress. We were at the aquarium and my dad walked past a teeny tiny baby red octopus, and the shadow of my dad actually made the octopus ink in fright. Speaking of being at the aquarium, most people come to see the octopus and see it moving around. However, they don't, because octopuses are crepuscular, which means they're most active at dusk and dawn. There is a set few that are more nocturnal, which means they're active at night. But if you come to an aquarium, the chances of you actually seeing the octopus being active can be rather slim, unfortunately. But one of the things that you can see is us feeding the octopus. And when we feed them, the octopus uses their beak, which is found underneath all of their arms, to open up shells and eat seafood and stuff. The beak is made of chitin, which is the same substance that's found in the exoskeleton of crabs and lobsters and creatures like that. And the size of their beak determines how big approximately of a hole the octopus can fit into, because that is the only hard part of their body. Everything else is completely moldable. So if an octopus has a 3-inch beak, it can fit into holes 3 inches. Speaking of the beak, octopuses use it to deliver venom to their victims. All octopuses have venom. They have a venom sac, much like an ink sac, that it lives inside their system. They bite to deliver venom. However, before people start freaking out, only the blue-ringed octopus can kill a human. Only the blue-ringed octopus has venom strong enough to kill a human. Guess where you can find them? In Australia, the land where everything kills you. The biggest octopus in the world is the giant Pacific octopus, which is found right in my backyard, actually. And they average about 14 feet, 200 pounds, but the biggest one ever found was 30 feet, or 9.1 meters, and 600 pounds, or 272 kilograms. That is massive. The smallest octopus in the world, on the other hand, is the octopus wolfie. It's generally less than an inch big, which is about 1.5 centimeters, and it weighs less than a gram. That's tiny. And then the biggest sexual dimorphism, which is difference between the female and the male, is the blanket octopus, where the females can get up to 6 feet long, and the males are mostly less than an inch. The oldest octopus fossils that have been found in the world are about 300 million years old, which means the octopus lived a lot longer than the humans have. They know what's up. And finally, the most debated octopus fact in the world. The plural of octopus is octopodes. When octopus was introduced into the English language, the English people gave it a traditional English ending, octopuses. However, at the time it was introduced, there was a movement to make English more like Latin, so they gave it a Latin ending, octopi. But octopus is Greek, not Latin, so the technical correct ending is octopodes. However, it is only used in British English, and if you want to use it, you have to be able to tell people where it comes from. So you can use octopi, you can use octopuses, you can use octopodes, and technically you are correct. 25 facts about the octopus. So that concludes 25 facts about the octopus. If any of you are in the Seattle area during this time, I would invite you to go check out the octopus during Octopus Week. I believe this year actually starts on the 18th, but I worked at the Seattle Aquarium for 4 years, and it is a great place to be, especially during Octopus Week. It's one of our most celebrated weeks, and it's a lot of fun for everyone involved. So go check out our octopus. If you can't make it to the aquarium, they actually do a live cam of the octopus during the week, so you can check that out at the website. If you like this video, please like and comment and subscribe. If you want me to do more sea animal or just animal-based fact videos, definitely give this a like, because I love sea creatures. So the more sea creatures on this channel, the better. So I'll see you guys next time. Bye!